Alright, so hello viewers and welcome to early January 1915. I'm your host PPGChu and welcome to a new year within Wars. So, starting off the new year, we get a few more options opening up to us, like I had said inside the previous episode. And starting off with some things, we get to check out the research system in the game now that that has been unlocked. So, just briefing, we're just going through this very briefly. I'll show you guys the little tutorial thing that it gives you, though it's not exactly terribly in detail, if you will. There, how this works is that typically each and every single one of the three different alliances, factions have right around like six, or in the event of the Eastern powers, five different techs or technologies that will just gradually change over time, though of course you can influence them farther if you'd like. Starting off, I believe these will just cap off at level 4, which is the very maximum. The little levels are indicated by these dashes up here, and of course the percentage is the movement towards a higher level. And how this really works is that some of these techs were actually the vast majority of the techs will be available for all factions. How this works is that I believe infantrymen gradually get, first and foremost, better, say, defensive equipment starting off. Then they go to grenades and flamethrowers, and they unlock special assault troops or formations as time goes on. For artillery, you get, I think they just really just steadily improve, and things get better with them. Really, that's pretty much that. Evidently, on level 3, we get heavy railroad guns, so perhaps things like the Paris gun and all that, though those will be very sparsely held vehicles or pieces at the best. Some of the more interesting techs are, of course, the chemical warfare trait, the aviation research, the tank research, which will come into hand, I believe this one will be later inside the war. And for the central powers, for us, we get U-boat research, so we can start to pump out some submarines. We can start to do this right now, though I don't believe it's terribly effective. In fact, we should have a slight detachment of naval stuff as well here. So we have some of these surface coastal submarines where, not necessarily surface going submarines, but they're small ones, and I believe they're not terribly useful, especially given that they have a certain amount of range, and I don't believe they can honestly go very far outside of the immediate German area here. Going from there, I mean, once we tier this up to level 2, these things become more useful, and what'll happen is that the British have the option of leveling up their specialty research, which is the anti-submarine warfare stuff. So there's this battle of research there. In general, most of the stuff everybody has. For aircraft, I believe first and foremost we have the recon planes. Afterwards, we get some actual fighters which can take down significant amount of enemy aircraft, and later on we get I believe some bombers, and then a bit of a buff towards all existing units. So there's that. I think all existing units on the map will be upgraded, but the elements within them will not. So that is kind of weird. I guess you had to lose all of the old planes before they get their replacements. Either way, those will be some of the more important techs. Some of the ones that are indeed unique would be probably tank warfare stuff, and of course the stuff about chemical warfare. Tanks are the more straightforward ones out of the two, so I'll talk about them first. Effectively, they're pretty much just tanks. They're useful for making an offensive, and I believe they're unlocked fairly in like late, if not in the middle portion of the game. So currently those will be capped off at 0%, but later on that'll change, of course. One of the things that we should keep in mind in doing is teching up in chemical warfare. So how chemical warfare works is that in the 3 different levels, technically it's 4, but the first level you don't have any, you get access to different types of gas, warfare decisions in the form of, I believe, these regional decision cards, as we've seen over here. So what happens is that as you unlock these different types of gas warfare things, I believe they progress steadily forwards in effectiveness, but I think the cost of them rises or something along the lines of that. Either way, the big thing about chemical warfare is that the times that you use it, or rather the first few times you use it, it'll be more effective than, say, later on. And with that said, it'll be better if say you rush to unlock one of these, grab it, use it on a wide front where, just a concentrated area and make a breakthrough like that, and exploit it while you have the chance. Because from the looks of this panel, yeah, initially during the first 3 uses, this one will have double the effect. Afterwards, it'll defect. Rather, the enemy will make countermeasures, and the gas will be of limited use. So yeah, it's definitely worthwhile in researching the gas early, so that we can use it, and we can hopefully make a breakthrough there. So far in our campaign, we're doing pretty well. Chances are is that we probably will need it for the Western Front, but not the Eastern Front. And with that said, we have to worry about this argument right here. We could use it on Serbia. That would make things a lot easier over here, which will make it so that we could get our troops here, the Austrian-Hungarian troops, and switch them to the Eastern Front sooner. Or alternatively, we could try to save it for the Western Front and see whether or not we can use it just before the French use it, so that we can do a bit of a spoiling attack, hit them hard, and then pull back to our lines, and to just cancel the effect of letting them use it first there. So those are a few options. Apart from that, I believe on the turn of the new year here, we get a few new things. So starting off, Portugal has evidently joined the Western powers, so that is kind of weird, kind of not. We'll let them do their thing. We're steadily influencing a few of the other countries, but that'll of course take some time. Either way, that'll just shift things and see how it goes. 2 more political options are unlocked now. We can give some concessions to Italy. It'll make it so that Italy joins us faster, though it'll give some of, I believe, Austria's land to of course Italy. The thing about it is that it's quite hefty in its cost of victory points and national morale, though I think we have surplus national morale right now, so it's not a terribly big deal, though I'd prefer that we don't have to fire that off, at least for some time. So we'll see what happens there. Currently, Italy is for the most part neutral. It's not favoring any side, though it seems to be slanted towards the Western powers. So we'll see what we can do there. Going forwards from there, what happens is that at the start of the new year, we get some free generals inside Berlin, Constantinople, and I believe Wien, or all of the capitals of our different nations. So we get a nice set of generals. They're not, they're more or less just junior officers that we can send to the front and to use like such. So over here we get a batch of 3. Checking out their ratings, they all seem to be 211. So not great, not bad. They seem to be really low in the command chain, though. So that's also one thing that we should note. The main thing is that we get access to the Academy of Science tab here. Let's see whether or not I can pull it up using the games and stuff. But it's for research, and what we can do here is that I believe we can spend some state funds and some engagement points to advance into one of these sections of research. Though there should be there's said to be a very limited amount of times you can use this option, in the sense that I believe you can only fire off one of these advanced research options every 3 months. So we'll have to choose wisely as to which techs we want to advance. Early on inside the game, I think all of our research stuff is fairly balanced with each other. So for example, we have a lead on infantry, they have a lead on artillery pieces, and aircraft is pretty much the same. Our submarine or our U-boat stuff is slightly below theirs, and I'm not going to worry about the Eastern powers here, because typically they'll run slower than us and the Western powers. So With that said, I think we'll fund gas research. If we can use this multiple times, we'll see whether or not I can also fund artillery research as well. I'm pretty sure you can only fire off one of these at a time, not that you can do one batch every 3 months, because I think this is the reason why we can select multiple things here, is that it just works off of this overarching system that that all of these political options and decisions work upon. So, for example, I mean, as you see here, we can fire off the options that are technically locked right now. In that case, I think I'll play it safe here, and I'll just fire off the chemical research one. One other thing that we can do is that we also get this event over here, and I think, yeah, we can gain a spy unit here. So with that said, it makes sense to fire that off immediately, and we'll see what happens. So those are our actions on the grand scale there, and going forwards, let's see what else we've been doing here in the meantime. So we're doing a lot of recruitment inside Graz and area, so we're getting more infantry for the front. So I guess we'll send those forwards here. And we'll just get the reinforcement troop going, and I think we'll buy some more infantry here now that we are accumulating a large amount of cash in reserve. Or actually, no, one of the things that we need to do is that we need to build a few munitions factories, and I think we've already talked about this inside the first episode, where ammunition will be more valuable as time goes on, as you have more cannon pieces here and there. So with that said, we might want to build another munitions factory, though I'm just going to check, because I believe I have one in Berlin, and I have one in Potsdam. And that should give us 8 points of munitions per turn, mind you, or at the very minimum that. And that should be, it should be a bit. It shouldn't, like, it obviously isn't, like, too terribly much, but it should last us through 1915. The thing is that right now, I mean, obviously, if you build the ammunition factories en masse and you don't have the cannons to back them up, there's no real purpose in getting them, of course. For those who are wondering, you can enact Zeppelin raids here. I might as well talk about these options, seeing as how we have the opportunity to. You can use Zeppelins. They're technically reconnaissance units, and I believe the game handles them exactly the same as airplane bases, as in the sense that you post them somewhere and then they gradually scout out the regions. Though, if you have Zeppelins inside the northern part of Germany, and I believe in Belgium and area, provided that you have, I think, at least 6 of them, you can use them to make Zeppelin raids and Zeppelin reconnaissance missions into the Pacific, not the Pacific, but the Atlantic, and into London accordingly. Your Zeppelins will suffer heavy casualties when you do this, though every time you unleash the Zeppelins onto London, it costs them a point of morale each time, so it's not bad, but it's very costly. The Zeppelin reconnaissance thing is just useful for ships. It's a milder version of it, so you're not likely to lose the Zeppelins on that case, but we're probably not going to use it just off the fact that later on we want to probably move these guys into some area that we want to commit to an offensive with. So that is pretty much that. Let's see, since we have a lot of cash, I think we'll just build some German infantry for now, seeing as how that is also one big thing that we need. And of course we still have to train like 100 units of these, so we have some time before we cap out on German infantry. So get a few of these guys built. The main thing is that currently we have a lot of cash and not very much war supply. So I figured it'd be better to build some of those. We still have a lot of German artillery pieces. I recall us maxing these out, though. Don't really know what was up with that. Either way, though, I think we'll go with infantry units for now. Just given the fact that we have so much extra cash, and the cannons, I don't believe they actually cost all too much. So yeah, an infantry brigade an infantry division costs 66 at the very least, whereas a medium field artillery piece costs slightly less than that. Yeah, so we built a lot of infantry, draft just practically everyone inside this country. And that should mobilize a ton of people. And I think we're just going to put them on the western and eastern front here accordingly. The one thing is that I really want to keep up our manpower buildup on the western front, so that we keep up with France's natural gain of troops over time there. So that's one thing. Over here we're still pressing forwards. We're not converting these tiles just yet, though. First army is ready to move, and second army is ready to move, so they're good. I think we'll get Guard Corps just to move forwards for now, and we'll let them do their thing. Over here, Bialystok is taken, though enemy armies are starting to oppose us over here, so that's not great. Let's see. Von Helsing's army is ready once more, so we'll send him, and we'll see whether or not he can get his guys to march through, well, actually, let's give him a one-tile goal. Let's try to get him to march through the woodland tiles here, and let's see whether or not he can make any progress towards Brest-Litovsk over here. One thing that I forgot to mention was that inside some of these, if I hover over these territories, you'll see that the actual individual tiles on the map will have an alignment as well. It's different as opposed to military control, and one of the things that the game manual says is that when you have a low alignment in select areas, you actually have to occupy these strategic towns before they give you victory points. So with that said, we'll post some guards there, and we'll have to allocate our forces accordingly. So that's also one concern. Right now I'm just going to get Van Helsing's guys to make a raid down here. Let's see what's threatening us over here. Two fairly minor divisions. In that case, I think we'll get 2nd Army Corps here to rush to the fortress just to control that area. This troop should move. Actually, I'll give them a railroad order, so they'll move over here, and they'll enter the fortress. So these two areas should be garrisoned over here. There's not too much that we need to garrison, so that's good. Apart from that, we do need to deal with this unit right there, but I think we can wait for that. Over here, let's see, we have some regular soldiers and all that, not too much that need fighting or threatening, so that's good. And let's see, we found some supply wagons. Von Hindenburg managed to capture a lot of good stuff over here. And they, of course, managed to take Warsaw last battle. So we'll get them to enter the fortress, and we'll get them to wait a while to get their cohesion stuff back into shape there. So, alright, so the front is looking pretty well so far. Making a movement over here, and checking on the weather. We'll see. This area is now apparently mud, so it's raining. It's not snowing, so that should look, that should bode well for us. Instead of driving over here into Moscow an area, instead what I think I'll do is I'll make a play for Petrograd instead, because it makes more sense, seeing as how both of them were actually rather Moscow. It could be argued to be more farther away in just the amount of the length that we had to go here, making it easier for the Russians to intercept us. And with that said, we might just make a quick drive to Petrograd to hopefully knock them out the war like that with some of our armies here. Speaking about that, in that regards, I should probably get, you know what, I think I'll get Guard Corps over here to make a bit of a scouting run forward. It's currently mud, so the weather will slow them down, but we'll see, and we'll see whether or not we can try to strategic towns along the way here and open up the road to Petrograd, I guess. So that's one front. Over here things are handled here in the Serbian front. We made some minor gains. We took a village over here using 2 corps. This tile still isn't converted, which is a shame. Army Group HQ is now in range, and it has full reach over all of the people over here, so that's good. We're still not able to get any intel onto that troop led by Petr Božovic, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Our armies here are for the most part readied. They're for the most part ready for an offensive, so get them to switch over, and we'll see whether or not we can perhaps take another tile from the fine folks over here. Right, so make a push into the first tile right here. No, don't go over there. There we go. we're just gonna get all of these guys to drive right through this area. It's gonna overload the frontage, but it's gonna guarantee us a victory. And we'll just sweep through Nish and see where that takes us. So we'll do something like that, and I think that'll be the end of this turn. Okay, so the game the game continues like that. So, not much happened actually. This battle should be right around the middle of the turn, so it's either day 6 or 7 already. So the French have decided to make a play into our trench lines over here in the winter, and their general Pierre something 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 isn't exactly all too good. He's a 1-1 as opposed to Vellum von Prussen over here. So we'll try to go with the long range suppression fire once again, seeing as how this one seems to work quite nicely. Okay, so let's see. They made a real hard drive into this area. We took a lot of losses. They actually attacked with a smaller force, which didn't bode very well. So yeah, we managed to annihilate 2 of their reserve infantry divisions. Their corps over here didn't actually the 17th Corps didn't get hit too badly. Let's see though, what has happened? Checking my stocks of ammunition and all that, so our trench level wasn't terribly great, but it was alright. And well, hey, we actually captured a decent amount of ore supplies too, so that's not bad. And let's see, a lot of our guys weren't hit too terribly bad. The corps over here, of course, took a fair brunt of the blow, but it's pretty consistent all along the front here. Either way, I'm not going to check through all of this just because I don't think we took too many losses here. Did any of our people rout? I don't think so. A few of theirs routed. We took some prisoners. We actually took 48 companies. That's not bad. So, overall, pretty successful battle. They're going to fight us again, so we'll see. They should be down to... Yeah, they lost a lot of manpower, so I don't know what they're trying to do here, but we'll see. And again, they decide to smash themselves onto this line. We inflicted negative casualties, so I'm not really sure what happens there. It usually happens when you fail to make any advances. So, but in this case, I mean, we did pretty well. Either way, their army should be kept back, to say the least. Did we capture any war supplies this time, or any prisoners? No? Okay, well, that's that. This was a 3-hour engagement too, so 37,000 people dead like that on their side. And right, we're gonna fight off in Serbia over here. Looks like Oskar Petrovic is leading the force, although hopefully in just a few short hours the other guys from the adjacent provinces will join us. So let's see, what can we do? I think we'll go with what they're choosing to prepare to withdraw. They can either try to delay, they can defend the escape route, or alternatively they might try to counter march. I'm gonna see, what can we do? Usually the AI likes to go with this one, the defend escape route plan. I'm gonna see whether or not we have anything that actually counters that one. Massed fire apparently counters it. That one, massed fire is I'd say kind of risky to use, as it increases the frontage, and if they have good emplacements, that'll cause a lot of losses on our front. It's also raining too, but I'm betting on the fact that they're going to go with a defend escape route over here. Yeah, so let's see. They did go with defend escape route. Our plan actually failed, but this battle wasn't too bad as opposed to, say, a lot of the other Serbian battles we fought here. So we took more losses than them, but it was a fair fight, and of course they have a smaller army overall, so I think it works out. Alright, so that is another turn done. Not a lot of, yeah, not very many fights going on the Russian front, though. I guess that's appropriate. They don't have too much, rather, you know, it's still Russian winter for the most part, so there's not too much action there. So, let this process. There we go. Let's see, fresh recruits. Some cavalry divisions are finishing at poison, so that's good. That means that we can combine these 3 units of cavalry, and these guys are of course great at patrolling areas, and we'll send them north on the railroad network to the areas over here. And would you look at that, it snowed again during the meantime, so Minsk is still frozen. We'll see. We'll bring up some forces, and with those forces, I'll try to get the cavalry to mosey through this area, and thereby converting all of the tiles into our territory. One of the big reasons why I want to get military control inside this area is just to open up the supply route here to let your guys go through better. So that's one thing. Have some more artillery. So ship these to Breslau. If not mistaken, we should have a decent. Or no, actually, we already sent over our forces from Breslau, so that's good. Let's see. Van Helsing's or Hindenburg's army over here could rest another turn, but I think they'd be better off with making a push into some of these areas. So with that keeping in mind, let's get them to attack. I want him to chase down this army. Force march his people, and I'll see whether or not he can take them down. Hopefully they'll be inside a tile that has a structure, and they'll just enter it afterwards. So, yeah, really betting on that. And over here we'll make, let's see, we're blocking two of their cores right now. I'll get Von Helsing just to make the stab into the Brest-Litovsk area, and we'll take it and see whether or not that works out for us. Over here, let's launch an attack. Let's try to take that tile over. And there used to be one Russian army to the north here. I'm not really sure where that went, so keep an eye on it. Over here, things are good. Not too much we can do there. See what they're moving on the front over here. They're actually pulling back to an extent here, so that's not too bad. Going off of our national morale, looks like we gained 1 point going off of that battle. And, oh, one thing that I want to make clear is that the use of these field hospitals are pretty valuable for our armies, because these guys give I think we've already seen this, it gives the medical service trait, and when they have this, it makes it so that the cohesion recovery rate of all of the elements in the stack better by a small amount. So I don't believe they stack up, in the sense that I don't believe multiple doctors do or help out in the same way as just where, you know, you only need one of them to work. And typically you have one of these in all of the major armies. These guys are really helpful, of course, because they make it they make us or cohesion recover faster in some of these larger armies, which is pretty vital if you think about it. So they're very useful. One of the things though is I'm still seeing how we can attack their big army over here. They seem to be losing some health now, which is good, but at the same time I think it'll be better to just surround Nish and to see whether or not we can perhaps surround them and then bleed them like that. The thing about it is that a lot of the movement across rivers and all are pretty difficult to start off with, and the second thing is that when you move in adjacent to a larger force, of course it'll be pretty difficult as well, but we'll see what we can do there. On the French border, yeah, they've fled back, so that is pretty much that. Let's see what we can do about building a few. We could build a few more cannons, actually, so I think we'll do that. See, where are any other places that we can build cannons in? There we go. Oh. Only Breslau can build cannons now, alright. Guess we'll have to do that here. Alright, so that's this turn for this area of the world. Let's check up on the Ottoman front. There, so the game needs some time to load up before we can do anything, but there we go. So, starting off, we have one mountain group somewhere over here doing their thing. I think I'll get these militiamen to just enter the town over here in the meantime. Fifth Army could try to chase these guys through the mountains, though it'd be, I think it'd be kind of costly, but we'll see. We'll make a push over there for the settlement. Over here, I'd like to take one of these Russian towns, or one of these strategically important Russian towns. Though, that is a lot of people. I think we'll get some movement started over here, and we'll start to ship forwards a few armies. I'll post a small garrison here, just to hold down the fort, if you will. And we'll get a lot of shipment moving down there. Over here, let's get another unit shipped to the front here, because I'm under the impression that we'll need some more infantry. Coming down to this side of the world, they seem to be moving. They seem to have an entire core of people over here. That's going to be problematic, because I don't believe our guys can fight that. Checking over here, I don't know why we don't have supplies just yet. You don't technically need to have a line where you don't. I don't believe, you technically need to have military control to have a line of supply, though it does help a lot, like we do here. So I guess we'll pull back the Turkish forces for now, because this is a very minor front, and I don't think we'll be able to make any progress in the meantime. So might as well just shove up our defenses there, and I think we'll just make a slight push into Austria and region. And in the meantime, let's see, get these armies to combine. The main thing is that I just want them to move into the tile as one cohesive blob. And all of these guys should be on defense. The defense army group moves forwards, and that should be the end of them. Alright, so that'll be just those moves. Okay, so the French want for another round. You know what's going to happen here. Well, they had even numbers with us for quite a while there. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why. The game takes a long time to generate these logs. So overall, this was actually very good. 6 rounds, 6 hours of combat. Try to use that fire off. No. Try to use that fire guns command, but it doesn't look like it worked once again. Either way, we did a lot of casualties, so I'm pretty happy with that. Max is going up against Pavel over here in Brest-Litovsk. So, oh no, he's actually fighting a larger force. So we'll try to flee here. We'll try to use defend escape route, and we'll see what they try to do. What else can we can actually, a lot of the plans here get countered by his. Let's see. Yeah, they seem to be dug in really well in Brest-Litovsk, I guess. Either way, that's the penalties of making a winter offensive here. Huh. That actually came out as a victory, so that's kind of weird, actually. And maybe he was a leader that was somewhere, just somewhere nearby. And with that said, he couldn't reinforce in time there. Okay. So they'll try this. They'll try this again. Ooh, actually, we suffered quite a lot of losses this time. Though nevertheless, we're getting a lot of reinforcements as well, and they, of course, are bleeding more heavily than us. So that's not too bad. Lots of losses. And they lost a few machine guns that round, so I don't know what that implies, because those weapons are further back inside the ranks. Are they gonna try it for round 3? No? Oh, what's happening over here? Paul von Hindenburg's unit moving out of Warsaw here is, he's actually really low on cohesion now. So he'll be beat back. I guess we'll just see what happens on this front coming from here. I didn't expect him to drop that low in cohesion and just move in one turn. I think inside the manual it states that the cohesion hit per movement is per 1 day. Units will take 1 hit in, or rather 1 point of damage in cohesion. And the thing being in that is that shouldn't be that bad, seeing as how most units have a cohesion value of, I want to say somewhere at least in the 30s or more. So checking up on our infantry units, yeah, 73 as a maximum cap. So these guys are getting really hammered on the cohesion hits. I guess in that case, we'll get Hindenburg to flee back, get him to enter Warsaw, and the weather here is changing for the better, or at least currently. No, it's mud right now, so it's kind of better, kind of not. We'll keep with it though. So let's see. Actually, there is 5th Army. The 5th Russian Army stationed in Brest-Litovsk. I don't know what happened there. Did they just not join the fight or something? Because only the Fortress Guard fought during this battle. Either way, that would imply that, that our army led by Max over here managed to trap a much larger force into the fortifications over here. So that's a very good thing. Though the only thing about it is that I don't believe we'll have a way to follow that up in the meantime. So I think that'll be all for today. Checking on the Belgrade front, I want to see whether or not we did manage to get a unit moving over here. The idea being is that I might be able to encircle them inside Nish, and we'll try to perhaps finish them off like that. One thing that I should note about making these encirclements inside the game is that I believe these towns put out a significant amount of supplies, as in I think it's 4 times whatever value the town is. So with that said, this one, 4 times 6 and all, that should put out enough supply to last for quite some time. The game should tell us how much supply this army needs per turn. So let's see, 35 usage per turn, and this is already a pretty large army. So with that said, not really sure surrounding these guys would work. I think surrounding them would work better if it was, say, a plains tile over here where there's absolutely nothing to generate supplies with. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. Bye-bye for now.